Okay, today we're going to start out with the V6 3800. Some people know it as the 3.8 liter V6 that Buick manufactured for many years. They've got it in their Buick LeSabres, Buick Regals, and such. This here today is a 1996 Buick Regal. And the issue that I'm having with it is kind of just an old junk car here, but it still runs and drives good. But I'd let an individual borrow it, and he called me up and said, hey, look, this thing's steaming and it's leaking antifreeze. So I asked him where it was coming from, and he said the passenger side of the vehicle or passenger side of the motor there. And I immediately figured, okay, well, the water pumps went out on it. Upon further inspection, when I got it home, I've actually started up and let it run a little since then, so I have slung some fluid, as you can see there, on the serpentine belt. But the overall, he pretty much stopped right when it started doing it, so there's no fluid or anything on the actual water pump itself. So I was like, well, okay, well, maybe it's not coming from the water pump. So I took it down to the local garage here, about a half mile from my house, and that's where I got the antifreeze on the serpentine belt. And asked them, because you know it's a pretty common motor in most of these vehicles of that time, and I asked them, I said, well, what do you all think it might be? Because it's not, you know, it don't appear like the water pump's going bad. So right back in here, let me get the camera down in here, you might be able to see a little bit better. If you look right down here, and let me try to get my light and everything and get it focused in. Right back in here, this is the water pump here, for the ones that don't know. Right there is the end of the water pump. Straight back in here, it looked as if to me that it was actually coming from the intake manifold, which I can try to get this in here. Is right down in there. If you'll look, it's really hard to see. Let me actually put my camera down in here and see if that helps any. I'm having a hard time getting on it here. Okay, here we go. You'll see this right here. There's a plastic piping here. Okay, that right there is actually called a heater hose bypass fitting. I'd actually never really heard of one. I've never really dealt with these motors all that much. My first inclination, and you can see why, you can see a lot of fluid sitting around right there at the intake manifold gasket there, or not manifold, but the intake gasket. So I was thinking it's leaking from there, but they said that it's really common on these 3800s for that bypass fitting to go out, because the seals, it's just got rubber seals backing up and on each side there. Said it's real common for them to go bad, and they actually manufacture, as you can see here, I picked this up, it's as you can see there, aluminum heater hose fittings. It's only going to take one of these though. It's kind of like a generally speaking, I guess maybe there may actually be another one on here. I don't want to say something that I'm not real familiar about, but I know that it only takes the one on this side where I'm getting a leak right now, so the other one may go somewhere else, and it may just be one that's for different applications, I guess, from what year to what year. So, but anyway, though, they said that this right here probably will fix my problem. They said it's the easiest thing to fix. According to them back there at the garage, they said it's approximately a 30-minute job. I guess we'll find out here in a minute. You can kind of get in there and see. For those of you that are looking at doing it yourself, I'm not going to go through a whole tutorial video how to do this, but you know, first step, you want to pull that off. There's no bolts or anything like that holding it down. And this way too, even if you're not planning on doing it yourself, you might want to pull this cover off, so then you can get a better view and maybe be able to see where your leak's coming from. I probably should have took that off first, but according to them, what you got to do is you got to go in here and you got to pull your alternator back. And when you pull the alternator back, this thing, as you can see, it doesn't actually have any bolts. It just slides in, and it's got it's got these little rubber gaskets here that slide back in. So the only thing that's actually holding it is the 90 degree between this and over here at the motor. So essentially when you unbolt this and you slide all this back, then it's going to pull the fitting out, and then you can pull it out from the motor. Of course, you start down here, you're going to take this bolt here out. If I can get enough light in here to see. Right below the alternator on that one, you can see it. That's your tensioner pulley, and all you're going to do is you're going to simply get a 15 millimeter socket, put your 15 millimeter on there, and then you're actually going to turn it to the left there, and you can see how it pulls the tension off, and then you're just going to pull your belt off. That's going to be your first thing, because you got to get your belt off here, of course, in order to take this off and move it over. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope this may help somebody. Thank you.